Good morning and welcome to Morning Coffee with Sandye. Woohoo! I love me. I love you too. Oh, well, good morning, Bailey. Thanks for just, see, you can't see that, but it cracks me up. It's 6 o'clock. So Bailey just pushed open the door and came in to take his place on the couch. Wait, there he is. Can you see him? You see him back there? Yeah, behind my chair. I don't know what I would do without my little mascot. Maybe we'll close the door though. There. Okay. Oh, today is so fun. It's Wednesday. I love Wednesdays. I get a really good tennis match every Wednesday, and that gets me pumped. Yeah. Oh, there's so much today. So much going on today. First of all, it's still Passover, so I'm still eating matzah, which gives me gas. I'm not gonna lie to you. Good morning, Opa. Good morning, JB. Blah, blah, blah. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, coffee tastes especially good this morning. I woke up at 4. I thought it was 3. I went back to sleep and got up again at 5:15. And in comes my sweetheart and all 3 dogs to wake me up. It was so cool. What a joy. Happy birthday today to Shirley Jones. I saw her in a movie just last night, as a matter of fact. I forget the name of the movie. Oh, yeah, it was really good. It was an old cowboy movie with probably some of the best dialogue I've ever heard. Two Rode Together with Richard Widmark and that guy, famous, totally. Two Rode Together was Richard Widmark Icon Day or something like that. The movie was really good. I mean, like I actually watched it during dinner. That's how good it was. Herb Alpert's birthday. Do you remember Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass? Boy, I loved them. There was that one album, and I didn't usually remember album names, but Whipped Cream that had a girl who was like covered in whipped cream, body and head, and it was dun 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 dun. Dun. They did the they did the theme song from the Dating Game too. Do you remember the Dating Game? My brother was on that show. I don't remember if he got a date or not, but he was on the show. Yeah. I knew quite a few people, but you know what? I grew up from junior high school on in Southern California, so you're bound to know some people who know some people. Anyway, also 1948, Al Gore is only 1 year older than I am. Al Gore, I think of him as being a grown-up. Yeah. Didn't he invent the internet? Yeah, oh, okay, maybe not. And Rhea Perlman, same thing. I love Rhea Perlman. Great little actress. I guess I liked her because she was little and loud. Oh, I don't know anyone else who fits that. Anyway, I liked her. It's also the anniversary of the death of Anne Frank. I think we talked about this once before, but years and years ago. No, not that many years ago. My daughter and I went to Europe together, and the last leg of our together trip was in Amsterdam. She'd already been to Anne Frank's home, so we did all kinds of really fun and scary stuff in Amsterdam. Someday I'll tell you the drug story in Amsterdam. But she left, and I was on my own. I was a little nervous being on my own in a country where I didn't really speak the language, but I really wanted to go to Anne Frank's house. I waited in line literally for hours to get in. It's not that big and everybody wants to see it. It's really, really touching. I mean, really emotional to be there. The place was so much smaller than you can even begin to imagine. To have all those people crammed in there for that amount of time is crazy. Anyway, Anne Frank, you made a big difference on this planet. Your life and your death both made a big difference. So thank you. Good morning, Lauren. Thanks for joining us. Yay. A Taste of Honey? What show? What album? No, it was a Whipped Cream, I think. That show cracked me up. Loved that album. Now I'm confused. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anyway, you think you would cry the whole time you were at Anne Frank's? Yeah, you probably would because it was that emotional. I mean, they did not go out of their way to make it like that. It just couldn't help but be like that. So it's so many days today. Wait a second. Let me just check the messages here. Oh, the dating game. Yes. Yes. Dun, 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 dun. The dating game. And you think that was called The Taste of Honey? That could be. I don't know. Bunsen burner day. Oh, yes. Thank you to Robert Bunsen for inventing the Bunsen burner so we could all take chemistry and use a Bunsen burner, I guess. Clams on the half shell day. Okay, so I know there are people who think they're just gooey, goopy things, but oh my God, they're so delicious. Love clams. Love clams. Nothing like a good clam bake, huh? It's National Crayon Day. When's the last time you just sat down with a brand new box of Crayola crayons? No other kind is acceptable. You and I both know that, right? And especially the ones now. Now I know they make like 7,958 colors in one box with a built-in sharpener. Who needs that stuff? If you could get the box with 48 colors, 48 colors, that was like, oh my God, it was the best. But they had to have good points. And when you break off the point, it's like, goodbye, crayon. I don't even want to play with you anymore. But if you had a really cool mom who let you do weird stuff, you would take all the broken crayons and melt them together and make one giant crayon that made like 97 different colors. Oh, that was so much fun. I loved brand new crayons. Yeah, you did that with one of the kids just last week. Seriously, it's like different than pencils and different than felt pens. And felt pens are my media, but there's something about crayons. For my 70th birthday, back in the day, I had a 7th decade birthday party instead. So everybody dressed up. Okay, I dressed up like I was 7 years old and I had a doll cake and we played kid games and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And one of my friends made me a package of kid toys for my birthday. That was my present, including brand new crayons. Yay! Oh, and they do smell good too. You're right. There's something about the smell of crayons. That and paste. Okay, there's something about the taste of school paste too. Did you eat paste? Come on, tell the truth. Everybody ate paste at one time or another, right? It wasn't just me, was it? Oh gosh, I loved paste. Paste was so cool. And then when I got older, it was rubber cement and you'd put it on your fingers and then peel off your fingerprints. Do you remember that? That was so much fun. How do we lose that? Oh, wait, some of us don't lose that. I still find it incredibly exciting. What else? It's National Prom Day. What does that mean? People start having proms in March? Seriously? Any of you have children or grandchildren who are already promming? That seems a little early. And oh, yeah, we're having a pandemic. So how are they handling that kind of stuff? Oh, how sad to have to miss your prom. Is it sad? Wait, let me think. Let me decide that. I went to my prom, but I went with my brother. I went to my prom with my brother because my boyfriend was in Vietnam at the time. And it didn't seem right to go with a date. And actually, going with my brother was really fun because I got to hang out with all my friends and I got to drink my first alcoholic beverages and not worry about being drunk because my big brother was there to take care of me and make sure I didn't get into trouble. It was a great prom. Anybody out there remember your prom? It's fun. And I had the prettiest dress. Oh, I had the most beautiful dress. It was wonderful. I loved my prom. Let's see what else. Okay, this is cool. It is National Tater Day. Now, I'm going with potato, right? Bread and potatoes. Hello, that's my downfall, right? I love bread and I love potatoes. Last night, we had for a change, we had sweet potatoes. And I decided I know why they're called sweet potatoes because I didn't have butter or anything on it, not even salt. I just ate it like right. First of all, there's a big difference. I'm going to say this publicly. I'm going to acknowledge there is a huge, huge difference between baking a potato and nuking a potato. I don't know how it happens, but when you bake a potato and you bake it for just the right amount of time, it's potato heaven. But when you nuke them, they don't taste quite the same and they don't come out quite the same. For Passover the other night, I made my famous twice baked potatoes. One batch for those of us who could eat anything, and another batch for those who couldn't have milk and couldn't have regular butter and couldn't have regular cheese. But they were both terrific, seriously. I take the potatoes, I bake them, I don't nuke them. Or if you want, I guess you could, no, you can't boil them because you need the skins. Bake the potatoes, high temperature, like 450, 500 for like 45 minutes. Get them nice and soft. Cut them open, but be careful, don't burn your little hands. Mash them up, just like mashy, whip them up with either butter or cream, with cream or whole milk, butter, salt, pepper, teeny tiny bit of garlic, little bit of cheese, mash. Put them back into the potato skins, sprinkle a little paprika on top, and then bake them again for another half hour. Heaven, I'm in heaven. And if you remember from Tater Tot Day, tater tots were invented by the Ore-Ida guys who had all this leftover potato stuff from making French fries, and they smashed them together and made tater tots, and that became like bigger than their French fries. Mistakes, leftovers, often the most important thing you could possibly come up with. Oh my goodness. Coffee. Oh, you know what else? It's National Little Red Wagon Day. And I thought, well, that's kind of cute to have National Little Red Wagon Day. I have a little red wagon, a real one somewhere. I forget where it is. Did you have a wagon? I mean, there was really nothing like the little red wagon, but a wagon's a wagon. The whole idea behind it is to celebrate imagination and go back to those days when you would get into that little wagon or even your little wheelbarrow or whatever you had, and you could make it be anything you wanted it to be. You could go anywhere. You could go at any speed. There was room enough for everyone. And a little red wagon was a whole world in itself. Who doesn't remember having the fun in a little red wagon? It's a celebration today of imagination on wheels. I had a little fire truck too. I did. Seriously. My brother and I got a fire truck. It was from the secondhand store near my grandma's house. It was awesome. We put out an awful lot of fires with that truck. And it came with a real ladder. Okay, it was too small to actually climb on very much, but it was really cool. And a bell. It had a bell. Did not have a siren. We were the siren. And that in itself was pretty cool. All right. It's dance marathon day. Woo! That sounds like fun, doesn't it? What a great way to get exercise. Dance off those extra pounds. And by the way, I'm not reporting on my weight because not really much is happening, but I'm feeling pretty good. My clothes are starting to fit again. I'm being careful. I'm being prudent. I'm happy with measuring my food in my head to decide, is it expensive or not expensive? It's all working great. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm not unhappy with the way I look, although I would like to lose a few more pounds. That's all I want to say about it. It is also National Medievalist Day. Yeah. So I had to look that one up. I was like, what? And it said we should be very grateful to medievalists and celebrate them because those are the guys who go back and read everything in its original form, like Beowulf, for instance. So we don't have to spend like a lifetime reading Beowulf. They can just translate it and we can read it if we have to. And if you ever go to high school, you probably have to. So thank you to the medievalists who spend all their time struggling with old languages so we can hear, oh, well, okay, for instance, we probably wouldn't have Game of Thrones because it would have taken too long to figure all that stuff out if we didn't have medievalists who could also always go back, like give us those pointers and make it all seem so real. So thank you for Game of Thrones. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but when I was in English in junior year, senior AP English, that's what it was. In Mr. Bert Lyne's class, we had to memorize the prologue to Canterbury Tales in Middle English. Did you get that? The prologue to Canterbury Tales in Middle English. And I can remember all of us making fun of him and saying, why would we have to do that? When could we ever use that? Well, hug a medievalist, my friends. I am a medievalist when it comes to the Canterbury Tales prologue. Wander April with the Shura Sota, the brocht of March hath persed to the Rota, and bathed every vine in switch liquor, of which vertu engendered is the floor. Von Zephyrus, okay, I won't bore you with any more, but interestingly, it's all about March too. And today is the last day of March, so how appropriate. And there was one day back in the days when I had my balloon store, when my entire staff was having lunch at the same time and I was manning the phones, but the phones were kind of quiet. So I kind of was listening to what they were talking about. And there were like 6 of them sitting at this table. And one of them was saying, she was in college, and she was saying that she was taking this course in English and they were reading Canterbury Tales. And the prologue was in Middle English, and how weird that was. And I quietly walked over to the table, stood behind her, and said, Wander April with the Shura Sota, the Drocht of March hath persed to the Rota. And I performed for my staff the entire prologue in Middle English. And I did it brilliantly, if I do say so myself. They were shocked, to say the least. But the young lady who was studying it in English wanted to know if I'd come to class with her because she had something unusual to share. 1889, the Eiffel Tower was officially open to the public. Now, on a trip to Paris, in my little hotel room, and when I say little, I mean little, because if you wanted to turn around, you had to first open or shut the door. It was so tiny. Room for the bed and a suitcase standing up, and that was about it. But it had a window that when you opened this double window, no screens, just open the double window, and there, right there in front of you, far in the distance, you could see the Tour Eiffel. The Eiffel Tower was right there. It was so exciting. And I had this character whenever I traveled out of the country, and I named her Gloria Resnick. And Gloria Resnick was the ugly American. She was the ugly American who would wear her mink coat in the middle of winter going up and down the escalator at Harrods in England. That's how this whole started, by the way. There was a woman talking like this. I think she was from New York. Talking like that in the middle of the summer at the top of her lungs, wearing a fur coat. She was to me the original ugly American. So I did this character. And I was Gloria Resnick. And I stood in that window when my husband was downstairs in the street. He had just gone out to go, I don't know, get us chocolates or something. I don't know. It wasn't chocolates because I don't do chocolates. But I opened the window, and out the window I yelled, Howard, Howard, will you look over there, please? You can see the Eiffel Tower. It's right over there. Anyway, it was pretty funny. So happy birthday to the Eiffel Tower. And finally, today's word art, be a giver. Share something small every day. Be a giver. Givers get a lot back, and they don't even have to think about getting it. It just happens. And when I say give something every day, I'm not talking about write a check, although that's nice. You could find a penny in the street and give it away. I'm talking about little important things like love and respect and a nod and a thank you and a smile and a hi and some love, and you get the idea. Have a me day, will ya? But make it a you day. I love you. A sip and a smile. And the Fritzy report is she's just smiling. That's all. Every time she sees me. And my big brother is coming, I think, tomorrow. So she'll really be smiling. I'll give you that report. See you then. Bye-bye, y'all.